On the mid-morning of August 11th, 1765, the village of Palac-en-Marguerite in the province of Gévaudan, southern France, a young woman named Marie-Jeanne Vallée is 19, maybe 20 years old. She works as a servant for the local parish. She knows this countryside. She has walked these paths her whole life. Today she is walking with her younger sister, Therese, who is 16 or 17, and they are on their way to the parish tithe farm. Ordinary work, a walk they've done before. But this is 1765, and nothing about walking alone in Gévaudan is ordinary anymore. For over a year, something has been hunting people in this province. Over 100 people, mostly women, mostly children, have been found dead in fields, ravines, and the edges of forests. Marie-Jeanne is not walking unarmed. She is carrying a spear, one provided by the priest. It's a pole with a blade at the end, 6 inches long and 1 inch wide. She has it in her hands as she and her sister cross the bridge over the river Dege. The beast is waiting in the undergrowth along the riverbank. It launches itself at Marie-Jeanne. She does not run. She plants her feet and drives the spear into its chest. The creature, this thing that had terrorized an entire province for more than a year, that killed soldiers and hunters, men with muskets, has been knocked backwards by a 19-year-old woman with a pole and a blade. It throws itself into the river, thrashing in the water, and then it's gone, running wounded into the trees on the other side. Marie-Jeanne and her sister Therese are alive. The royal gun-bearer, François Anton, who has been sent by King Louis XV to kill the beast, would later compare Marie-Jeanne to Joan of Arc. She became known across France as La Pucelle de Gévaudan, the Maid of Gévaudan. There is a bronze statue of her in Avour today, raised in 1995. A young woman with a spear, the beast rearing before her. She received no royal reward, no education paid by the crown, no money, no titles. A comparison to Joan of Arc from a passing official, and then nothing from the court at Versailles. The statue came 230 years later. This is a true story. August 11th, 1765. A real woman, a real river, a real creature, and a real spear. And it's one of the stories inside one of the strangest, most documented, most debated animal attacks in recorded history. For 3 years, La Bête du Gévaudan, the Beast of Gévaudan, will kill over 100 people, wound hundreds more, terrify an entire nation, embarrass the royal court of King Louis XV, spark one of the largest coordinated hunts in French history, and ultimately, maybe, give us a silver bullet.
There are fae and cryptid, lores and legends, of which there are skeptics and cynics of all kinds. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth.
And we are between the myth and belief.
And that is the Beast of Gévaudan.
I've never heard of this one.
It is a cryptid? Maybe.
You like to pick the ones you can't pronounce.
I do. But I am pronouncing some of it. But a lot of it I'm having trouble with.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of takes.
We have a few listeners who point out our inability to pronounce words, so there we go. Sorry, guys.
I am an ugly American.
We try.
We do try, and I try to get it right, but that doesn't, I'm not a native speaker to any of those languages.
And we
I'm
do try
barely
to
my-
look up the pronunciation, even if we're,
I do look it up. I look up
Yeah.
every one of them. It doesn't mean I'm able to do them.
yeah, it's even with the pronunciations and the breakdown, it's very difficult because again,
and I'm never going to get the fluidity of it.
No.
Yeah.
But being Americans, I point out to many people who are non-English speakers, and they pointed out to me constantly as well, is English is very difficult, but it tends to stymie you when it comes to other languages.
Oh, absolutely.
And as somebody who has had to teach English to people who have spoken another language, it's a struggle. But yeah, I never heard of this one.
Good.
This one's new. Kind of sounded like a werewolf.
Kind of, maybe. I don't want to give anything away.
Okay. I see how this goes now.
So, what do we have for the upcoming?
Well, let us see. It is June, and when this goes public, it will be June 14th. So we have Silver's Stones Magical Psychic Fair. That takes place the day that this is going to be released, and that is in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. We have the Strange and Sacred Market event on the 14th as well, and that's in Seneca, South Carolina. We have the Magic, Witchcraft, and Nature Conference in York, UK on the 24th through the 26th. We have Dreamers, Witches, and Mystics Virtual Summit, which is pretty cool because you can join this one from wherever you are, and that one is the 26th through the 28th. And we have the Witches Magic Market, that is in Glendale, California on the 20th, and the Witchy Workshop, which is Tarot with Cats, and that is in Asheville, North Carolina at the House of Black Cat Magic, which is pretty close to us, so you kind of want to do that one, but that's on the 26th. On June 15th, we have our new moon in Gemini. It is what they're saying is seeds of intention for communication, curiosity, and mental agility as the twins' Quicksilver energy opens new pathways of expression. On the 20th through the 21st, we have Litha, which is our summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. On the 23rd, we have the Day of the Lady and Lord of the She. This one's pretty cool. It is a modern neo-pagan observance honoring the Fae and the otherworldly aspects of the divine. The 24th is the Day of Household Deities, a modern devotional practice for cleansing and rededicating altars or household shrines, honoring the protective spirits of the home. And the 29th is our full strawberry moon in Capricorn. And this means it is a moon of adventure, truth-seeking, and seasonal abundance.
Very cool.
Thought those were pretty cool ones. I went a little crazy the last time, but I tried to stick to a roundabout thing. But I wanted to get the actual observances of the month in.
Sure. And we'll provide the links in the show notes. So before we get into the claws and the carnage of it all, I want to plant us firmly in the time and place because context is really everything in this story. So the year is 1764. I don't know if you know about it, but it's got numbers in it.
Hey, I like that the thing took place on August 11th. That's one of our kids' birthday.
It's true. We are in the province of Gévaudan. I'm not sure if you know that, which today is roughly the equivalent to the department of Lozère in south-central France, part of a rugged highland region called the Massif Central. It's a high plateau country. It's cold, wind-scoured, and deeply poor. Most people are subsistence farmers or herders, and many are illiterate. Many will never travel more than 30 miles from where they were born. Anything resembling a large city is days away on bad roads. Wolves are a fact of life here. They have always been a fact of life here. Losing a sheep to a wolf is just, Tuesday. People know what wolf attacks look like, what they smell like, and what they leave behind. Which is why when the attacks begin, the people of Gévaudan are very quick to say, this is not a wolf. Now, the political context matters here too, because it shapes how this story kind of explodes into a national crisis. France in 1764 has just finished the 7 Years' War. It was a disastrous, expensive conflict that left the country financially and militarily embarrassed. Louis XV is on the throne, and his court at Versailles is the center of French political life. And here's a detail that I love. The story of the beast becomes a natural obsession, partly because of a news vacuum. The war is over. There's no political drama in the papers.
That makes sense.
Right. So the editors of one of the major newspapers basically runs with the Beast of Gévaudan as a serial story, publishing these vivid dispatches about every attack and every failed hunt. And the story spreads from France to newspapers in Brussels, London, and Boston. And it becomes arguably one of the history's first true media sensations. All for a cryptid. And there's one more layer of context. The Enlightenment. France in the 1760s is deep in the Age of Reason. The philosophers, Voltaire, Rousseau, are publishing, arguing, dismantling old superstitions. And yet, here in the countryside, the old fears live on intact, absolutely and without error, because these are the people that have to face it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about werewolves, demons, creatures sent by God as punishment. The Enlightenment hasn't made it up the mountain yet. The tension between those two worlds, within reason and superstition, court and countryside, is woven all through this story. So the beast's first recorded attack on a human being happens in early summer in 1764. It's a young woman tending cattle near the Macquarie forest sees something come out of the trees. She describes it like a wolf, yet not a wolf. The cattle in her herd charge the creature twice and then drive it back into the woods. So she survives and she reports it, but no one pays attention.
Like a wolf, but not a wolf.
Right.
In what way did it say?
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
Shortly after, on June 30th, 1764, the beast claims its first official victim. It's a 14-year-old shepherdess named Jeanne Boulet, killed near the village of Les Aubacs. Near Langon, her mutilated body is found in a field. The following day, she is buried, and here's a detail that kind of breaks my heart. She was buried without sacraments because she could not confess before she died.
That's bullshit.
Right. So not only is this child killed, but by the standards of her community, she's sent into eternity without rights. Kind of messed up.
It is.
I mean, it's their religion, not mine, but it's messed up.
That bothers me to no end.
Yeah, she was doing her job.
And she was not doing anything wrong. It was not through any fault of her own that she died. And so I think that there should be, that's like the Catholic belief that, and my grandfather was this way, that a baby needs to be christened before they even go anywhere, leave the house, whatever, because unchristened, unbaptized babies go to purgatory.
Yeah, everybody's got their little hitch in religion that they want to put in.
And I don't know if that's an actual Catholic belief, but it was my grandfather's belief,
No, I think it is.
Yes, yeah. I don't know enough about it because,
that's the whole reason for it.
And it bothers me to know. And I know that when my kids were baptized, because at the time I was still very ensconced in Christianity, I had family members telling me that they were too young. Because they didn't believe in doing it until they could speak for themselves.
That's kind of a Baptist
That
thing.
is a Baptist thing. and I appreciate that. But also what I was taught as a Lutheran at the time was that they were under my umbrella of a blessing.
Yeah.
Again, it's so ridiculous that each Christian branch has its own little wonkadoodle-ness of it.
Sure, because it's all based on their own rhetoric.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. And that's what most religion...
Yeah, they base it on their rhetoric, and then they make it sacrosanct.
I mean, even my own beliefs probably are crazy to other pagan / witchy heretics.
Sure. Probably.
Yeah, because we all have our own beliefs.
So the attacks keep happening, of course, because that was just the first. The first successful attack, we'll say. The one in which it's killed someone. Through the summer and fall of 1764, the attacks actually multiply. A month after Jeanne, a 15-year-old is attacked near Piloran. She survives long enough to describe the creature, which is enormous and wolf-like, before her injuries kill her. By autumn, the attacks are coming fast enough that local officials can't ignore it anymore. And if you notice why they're able to ignore a lot of this, is there are a lot of young girls that are the ones that are dying.
Yes.
So it's no wonder that it takes a boy dying for suddenly people to care. So that's the thing. Almost all victims are women and girls or young boys. We haven't got to the boys yet in this story. Almost always alone or nearly alone on the open hillsides. Many are tending livestock, shepherds, cowherd children who spend their days alone in the fields. Sounds like a dream to me, really.
I would have loved that.
The beast seems to go specifically for the head and throat, much like a wolf would.
Are the cattle being touched?
Not so much. Multiple witnesses describe it carrying off heads, and in some accounts, the newspapers ran with drinking blood. Now, I don't know that you can take any of that for face value. No pun intended. How much of that is just journalistic embellishment? Probably a lot of it. But the body count is very real. The terror is real, and the creature's apparent willingness to approach human settlements and to ignore normal animal fear responses is certainly unusual. Multiple witnesses give remarkably consistent descriptions of what they've seen, and we're getting to that now.
Okay.
I know you're chomping at the bit for that.
I'm just curious, yeah.
Here's a composite portrait of what the accounts have shown. The creature is roughly the size of a calf or a small donkey, much larger than any normal wolf. Its fur is reddish-brown with a dark stripe running down the spine. The chest is described as extremely wide, with one of the witnesses saying it's as wide as a horse. The body is long like a cat, like a leopard. The tail is long and thick, and the head is broad and heavy with enormous teeth. And it runs fast. It jumps reportedly extremely long distances. And it has no fear of people.
Direwolf.
I would say that, except there are some things that don't match up to
hyena.
The direwolf.
Lost.
A lost hyena?
In
France?
Hyena. It could be a traveling zoo.
Sure.
Traveling show, and the hyena got lost.
In 1760?
You'd be surprised. They travel,
I don't know that I would be that surprised. I mean, I probably would be surprised if I saw a hyena just walking around.
I mean, I would be surprised to see a hyena walking around, but knowing that it came from a traveling, entertainment thingy. I don't know what they called them then.
The real trouble would be me getting out of the trouble I get into. Because if I see a hyena, I'm going to be going, psst, psst,
puppy, 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 puppy.
Trying to get it to come to me like an idiot because I am white. So by October 1764, the attacks have spread across a roughly 700 square mile area. Some historians argue that there is more than one creature. And that's important, so hold on to that thought, because we're going to come back to it. The people of the region are not just hiding and trembling. People are isolated. They're in desperate situations. And these stories are about resistance. And I want to tell you about a few of them because they're used to doing things on their own.
Yeah.
They're used to having to deal with these things on their own, but these are unusual attacks. And it's not the normal wolf. So understandably, they're freaked the hell out.
Yeah, so they're going to want to try to get somebody higher up to help deal with it.
Well, there are people in the community that did not flee. Because the Beast of Gévaudan story has these extraordinary human moments inside of it. Those courageous and moments that just kind of overtake the beast's fear.
Okay.
The first I'll tell you about is a group of children. So because children are the ones in the fields.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are out there. On January 12th, 1765, and it's in deep winter, the beast attacked a group of young herders near a village. And the group was led by a 10-year-old boy named Jacques Portefeuille. Portefeuille. The group is led by a 10-year-old boy named Jacques Portefeuille. He is with 6 other friends, ages 8 to 12, and he's in charge.
When you're a jet, you're a jet.
The beast grabs one of them, and rather than run, Jacques organizes the other children, and they charge it.
Nice.
I mean, they're not fucking around here. They have sticks. That's what they have. They beat and they jabbed at the creature until it dropped their friend and left. And the story gets to Versailles, and King Louis XV, he's, the 15th of them apparently, himself is so moved by it that he has the children rewarded with a financial gift, and he arranges a royal education for Jacques, paid for by the crown.
Mm-hmm.
A 10-year-old peasant boy, the son of nobody in particular, being educated by royal decree because he didn't run away from a monster.
Okay. But a girl did that too later on.
Yeah. A girl did that earlier. And
and still got nothing for it.
right.
Yeah, that's fun.
So the second story is the one that they built the statue for. This is the one with Marie-Jeanne Vallée.
Mm-hmm.
Is crossing a bridge over the river with her younger sister, and the beast charges them. And of course, she stabs it with a spear in the chest. She didn't run. She wounds the creature, and it retreats, and her sister, of course, survive. And she gets, the Maid of Gévaudan. That's what she's called.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets a bronze statue in 1995, after she's
long dead.
Long dead.
And dusted.
Right. And the statue is of this fierce young woman with a spear raised, with the beast rearing before her. That's what the statue is.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that frustrates me is what we were just talking about, is that Jacques gets a royal education, and Marie-Jeanne got a statue 230 years later.
Mm-hmm. And she can't even appreciate it.
She can't use it. She can't even sell it.
Nope.
She received no royal recognition at the time. And the court sent nothing to the woman who fought the monster. But they sent funds to the boy with a stick.
Oh my God. I mean, not to say that he didn't do something brave.
No,
but
this is the inequality of the time and even now.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a bias.
Yeah.
But in early 1765, the beast had killed enough people, and the newspapers had run enough dispatches that the royal court can no longer ignore it. I mean, the king had to get involved already by royal decree to educate someone. So this creature is embarrassing France right in front of Europe. Like, dude, you're embarrassing us. So Louis XV sends in the professionals. And that's going to go well.
It's like, dude, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends, Germany and England.
Exactly. So first comes in Captain Jean-Baptiste Duhamel. I know I'm going to say these wrong. Who was a military officer.
Mm-hmm.
He organizes hunts along military lines. At the peak of his efforts, he reportedly has 30,000 volunteers combing the countryside.
Nice.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
He poisons bait, and he has soldiers dressed like peasant women to lure the creature. Because why wouldn't they want a tasty morsel like a peasant woman?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It seems to be its taste, what it likes, its choice. It's what it craves.
He literally describes the creature, the beast himself, in a letter that it had chest as wide as a horse, body as long as a leopard, reddish fur with a black stripe. But despite everything, he fails. He is eventually ordered to stand down. He never finds the beast.
What about the dead body that the girl, didn't she kill it?
No.
Oh, I thought she killed it.
No.
She just wounded it.
Wounded it. It got away in the woods and went across the river.
I heard that, but my brain, I thought she killed it.
That's okay. So next, the king sends in 2 more professional wolf hunters, because if one doesn't do the job, you obviously throw money at it.
You got to double down on that shit.
That's right. And they're coming from Normandy. It's a father and son team. Jean-Charles, God, this is going to be so horrible. Deneville? Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. Jean-Charles and Jean-Francois. These men have reportedly killed over 1,000 wolves between them. Not 2,000.
Wow.
1,000. And they believe in stealth, not armies. So they're going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky, sneaky, not attacky, tacky.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they spend months in Gévaudan, slaughtering wolves by the dozen, making multiple claims that they killed the beast.
To only have it turn around and bite somebody else.
Only to find that was all false. They found nothing, and they too failed, and were eventually recalled. Finally, the king sends the lieutenant of the hunt, who is Francois Antoine, who is the gun bearer of the king himself. Because the king doesn't handle the guns, he has a guy that holds them for him and shoots it, and he just says, "That was my bullet."
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. So Antoine is the real deal, though. He is the most prestigious royal hunter in France because he bears the king's gun, I guess. And he arrives with authority and resources. And on September 21st, 1765, he kills a very large wolf in the forest of Pommet. The wolf is enormous. The creature's stomach contains human remains. So Antoine declares the matter settled. The wolf is displayed before the court, and France celebrates.
It looks nothing like what they described, right?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing: they did find human remains inside the wolf, but wolves also do eat things, and if someone dies, a wolf will eat them.
Yeah.
Wolves are known to attack people. It's very rare, but if they're hungry, they will.
Yeah.
So just because you find a wolf with human remains doesn't mean it was that wolf or even a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
It just means you found a wolf with human remains.
True.
And keep in mind the year and the desperation of the people, and that people did starve, people did die quite frequently. 2 months later, the attacks resume.
Damn.
Yeah.
So close.
Something is still out there. The royal court, who is deeply committed to the narrative that the problem is solved, largely ignores the new attacks.
La la la. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So Antoine's wolf, they insist, was the beast. These new deaths must be ordinary wolves. It can't be the beast of Gévaudan. The families of the dead are left largely on their own. For another 18 months, the attacks continue. I mean, this is going over a year of attacks.
Damn.
In which the crown is completely ignoring them, saying, "Don't worry, mission accomplished." And it wasn't.
Hell, that's my ass that's got a chunk taken out of it, bitch.
30 to 35 more people die in the second wave
My lord.
of these attacks. and the king sends nothing. A local nobleman, the Marquis de Chay, finally organizes a local hunt in June 1767 because no one else has, and he has to. He has to do something.
Mm-hmm.
No king's men are coming, and no famous hunters from Normandy are coming either. So he just got some local men who are tired of burying their neighbors. Among the hunters is a man named Jean Chatel.
A lot of Jeans.
Right. Jean is not a glamorous figure. He is a rough-edged local farmer, described as a reclusive with a checkered history. He's the guy that does the screechy thing on the chalkboard.
And then he yells, "Get off my lawn, you kids!"
No, for the
shark. Yes,
Yeah.
to get their attention.
Yeah. No, he's not yelling, "Get off my lawn."
He was doing that before,
He was
and
doing
now
that
he's
before.
now he's at the big town meeting, and they're all bickering, and so he screeches his nails down to get their attention.
Right,
Okay, yeah.
exactly. Except he didn't have a chalkboard and he didn't use
So he
his
switched.
nails. He just said it, yeah. So he's a reclusive and he has a checkered history, just like you would in Jaws. He actually had been briefly imprisoned during one of the earlier organized hunts for leading other hunters into a bog.
He's now my hero.
I don't think he did that accidentally.
No, I'm pretty sure he didn't. He knows where the beast is. He's been feeding it.
I think he is the beast, actually. It's my belief. Whether that was incompetence or sabotage, no one knows. Because in France, sabotage. But on June 19th, 1767, at a place called Montmouchet, Jean shoots and kills a large, unusual animal, and the attacks stop immediately and permanently. Now, here's where legend and history kind of breed together, and I want to be precise about what we actually know versus what grew up around the kill afterwards.
Okay.
The legend says that Jean sat calmly reading his prayer book while the beast approached. Yes.
He was drinking some
Welcome to
rum or
1760s France, where they're going to say it was God's
reading his Bible.
God's holy right that I did this. Yes.
Yeah.
So he was reading his prayer book while the beast approached, that he fired bullets cast from a silver reliquary medal depicting the Virgin Mary.
Wow.
That when the beast appeared, he set down his book, took aim and fired, and the creature died where it stood. You know, God's hand through the bullet.
So he was reading his prayer book in an area which they said people were mostly illiterate.
Although I would say that prayer books probably were used.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going by my own knowledge of history as a whole. The reason, so a lot of people couldn't even read their Bibles, and only the religious could,
Sure.
the priests and stuff like that. So the likelihood of him being able to read it is slim. But regardless,
but they have to have him be literate and reading his Bible, else it's not holy enough.
So he's reading his Bible and he shoots bullets made from a Virgin Mary medal,
silver medal.
Yes,
right.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't go with Saint Michael. Honestly.
Well, the story about the silver bullet largely originates in a 1946 book by Henri Pourrat, not from contemporary 1767 accounts. But the legend grabbed hold, so historians believe this is where silver bullet as a weapon against werewolves enters our cultural awareness.
Okay.
Not from ancient mythology, but from this moment. This man in a field in 1767 recounted in 1946.
Yeah.
Probably wholly inaccurately. The silver bullet as a monster-killing device, in its roots, is a French peasant story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the American werewolf in London.
Ow.
Exactly. The carcass is loaded onto a wagon and sent to the king at Versailles. It's unusually hot summer. The journey is long, and by the time the wagon arrives, guess what? The body's decomposed beyond identification. How lucky for them!
Yeah.
How very lucky. We guess we have to take your word for it. But it was thrown away. So whatever the beast was, that physical evidence does not exist. It's gone. It's lost to the July heat and bad roads. And we only have the Marin report, a post-mortem description transcribed by a court notary, which describes the animal as a canid of unusual size with strange teeth and long fur, and that's all we have on it.
It's not an ROUS, it's a COUS.
Exactly.
It's a ghost.
It's a canid of an unusual size. That's exactly what it is. So here's the question I've been building towards this whole time. What was the beast of Gévaudan?
Direwolf.
That is a theory. Historians, biologists, and cryptozoologists have offered several theories, and we're going to go through them. Okay? The main ones, and then I'll give you my take, and then Michelle, I definitely want your take, which you've already shouted out.
Direwolf.
Direwolf.
Anteater.
Which is entirely unlikely.
Anteater.
Most mainstream historians and zoologists land here. It's the region of Gévaudan, according to historian Graham Robb, was infested with wolves.
Infested with wolves.
Infested with wolves. You got to love that phrasing. Wolves were fucking everywhere. They were all over the place. Occasional loup-garou, which are werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually already knew that word.
I did too. That one I knew.
Panics had swept through royal France before, usually coinciding with those times of great hardship. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
The 1500s, the 1600s had seen Parliament-sanctioned werewolf hunts. They usually ended in the arrest or execution of social outcasts. So they can say werewolf, but what they really mean is getting rid of the homeless.
Or somebody with trichosis.
I don't think they were really looking that deeply into it. It was just whoever they didn't like.
Well, yeah, but there's most likely somebody also who looked like a little hairy person, and they were like, werewolf!
Have a gay man.
Werewolf!
Have someone that isn't following your religion.
Werewolf.
Yeah, so it's very easy just to get rid of people that you don't like. The most likely explanation, per a study by researcher John D.C. Linnell, is that one or more large rogue wolves, possibly unusually bold due to learned behavior around human corpses during wartime, were responsible for at least the majority of the attacks. Wolves that had lost their fear of humans, perhaps because of the wartime contact, can become extremely dangerous. 2 animals killed by Antoine and Jean were both described as abnormally large. One may have been a natural aberration, a wolf that simply grew to unusual size because of probably its meals.
Yeah, eating that fatty human.
Yeah, lung pig. The spread of attacks over 700 square miles does suggest more than one animal, and the second wave of attacks after Antoine's kill suggests the first wolf was not the only one. So some investigators propose that the beast was a large, aggressive wolf-dog hybrid.
Okay.
That's something. So it's a cross between a domestic dog and a wolf, which would explain the unusual size and the lack of fear around humans.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs are habituated to people in ways wolves are not, and a large aggressive wolf dog raised in isolation could genuinely be monstrous in the literal sense. A related and much darker theory connects us directly to Jean Chastel himself. The theory goes that he owned and trained a large wolf-dog hybrid and that the animal carried out attacks, possibly without his full direction, possibly as a kind of monstrous pet let loose. Villagers noted that Jean seemed oddly calm and unsurprised when the beast approached him at the final hunt. He didn't flee, he just sat there reading his prayer book and waited, as if he knew what was coming. There's no hard evidence for this, but the suspicion in his community was real enough that it entered the historical record.
I mean, that makes sense.
Right, and it fits a certain pattern that the monster and the monster-making person being the same person, he made the monster. It was very easy for him to kill because it knew him.
Yeah. And if it is a dog-wolf hybrid, if you look at some of the bigger breeds in the area, you have like the Irish wolfhound.
Right.
Those things are horses.
Yeah, and just think of this being rabid or being, very much killing things and running through the countryside.
I thought about them eating the dead bodies, and that would make sense. It's like, they acquire a taste. It's like you shouldn't feed bears because they get the taste for human food.
That's why I never feed a bear human.
I was thinking of the food itself.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yes.
I only feed bears humans when I think it's safe.
See, you can't feed bears human food because that's why Yogi is the way he is. And he's always trying to get that picnic basket.
He will steal them. He doesn't care.
No.
He is
because he knows that the good beer lives in the picnic basket.
He is the beast of Jellystone.
Oh, no.
So the description, the wide chest, long body, I'm not talking about Yogi Bear.
No.
I am talking about the beast of Gévaudan.
Oh my God, he does have a bit of a wide chest and a long body.
Right. Reddish fur with a dark dorsal stripe, non-wolf behavior has led some researchers to propose that the beast was an escaped exotic animal from a private menagerie. And I wanted to hold that to the back because you kept saying things. And
I know.
I didn't want to jump the gun.
No. But see, that's when I could see, when you said the red with the black stripe, I thought hyena.
Right.
But they're not that, I mean, they're big, but they're not that big. Like I think they're even like smaller than a wolf. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look that up.
They can be pretty big.
And then, also, like when you said it also had a dorsal ridge, I was thinking of, if it is a dog-wolf hybrid again, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, which literally has a ridge of fur going in the opposite direction up its back. They're sweet dogs, but they are lion hunters.
Sure. Well, the French aristocracy of the 18th century kept exotic pets.
Yes, they did.
Lions, hyenas, large cats, a young lion or a striped hyena from North Africa would match several aspects of the description remarkably well.
Mm-hmm.
A subadult lion would have reddish-brown fur with a developing mane that could look like a dark stripe.
Mm-hmm.
And a hyena's build, wide at the shoulder, tapering to the hide corners, could read as wrong-shaped to someone who had never seen one, because they seem like they're a little bit top-heavy.
They do.
Yeah. One theory specifically points to the nobleman who organized the final hunt as someone who may have owned exotic animals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Marquis de Chay. The fact that the attacks ended after Jean killed in that final hunt was organized by de Chay. It's all kind of fueled speculation that
suspicious.
Yeah, that nothing definitive has been found, it certainly leads you to believe that it's entirely possible they orchestrated the whole thing based on the idea that either they let it go, just like to be heroes,
mm-hmm.
or it escaped and they're covering for their...
Yeah, and they couldn't catch it before 100, or so people were killed.
Right. So they're covering their own asses by killing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So even today, in some in the region and in broader French folklore, they maintain the supernatural explanations, werewolves. And we're going to get there. We finally got to werewolf. Or the concept of wolf leaders, magical individuals who could command wolves telepathically to do their bidding. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
I would make them do a pyramid. Because I think like the strangest and most wonderful thing you could do with a pack of wolves is make them form a living pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
No one would expect that.
I would want to take them to go get Chinese food or just walk around wearing pants so I could go, Wolfman's got nards.
So stupid.
I know.
So, I mean, mine at least was pretty cool.
on, he wants a big dish of beef chow mein.
It's wrong.
Hey, Warren Zevon
You can't bring dogs into a Chinese restaurant. That's just insane.
I didn't say I'd bring a dog. I would be bringing my werewolf friend.
Okay.
He's wearing a nice sharp suit and everything.
Oh,
Come on.
that's weird.
Oh, werewolves of London.
Stop.
Warren Zevon. Oh.
The idea of a sorcerer sending the beast as an instrument of terror or as a pyramid, living pyramid, is very much alive in the oral tradition of the region and was the dominant popular explanation among the people of Gévaudan during the attacks themselves. From a purely historical standpoint, the werewolf theory doesn't hold up. But from a folkloric standpoint, this is a classic example of how a real terrifying, unexplained event becomes encoded as the supernatural over time. The Beast of Gévaudan is where our modern cultural language of werewolves gets some of its most lasting vocabulary. We have the silver bullet, and the creature that cannot be killed by ordinary means. Stab it in the chest, it runs away.
Mm-hmm.
The sense that something human adjacent is inside the monster. All of that flows in part from this hillside in France in the 1760s. So my skeptic's eye lands on this. Most likely, 1 or 2 large aberrant wolves. Possibly reduced fear to humans due to wartime conditioning. That's my guess.
Yes.
That they were responsible for the bulk of the attacks. Now, remember, it was a 700 square mile area. That suggests multiple animals, but what if they were not all the same animal? I think part of what you say is right. That it's possible that some animal menagerie escapee, like a hyena or something, got loose in that area.
Yeah.
And it happened to coincide within the 2 years prior of wolf attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And because the child wasn't able to kill a full-grown wolf with a spear when she was being attacked and afraid,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it was invulnerable. It just means she missed.
Yeah.
She may have injured it, but it got away.
Yeah. I mean, who would really think that this poor young girl would be able to she had a stick and a knife.
I mean, she probably could, but she obviously didn't kill it, and it's not because it was immortal. It's just because she didn't kill it.
Yeah.
And maybe it went off into the woods to die. Who knows? But I think it was a pack of wolves that had been in the countryside feasting on the remains of wartime people.
Yes. Down
corpses.
Dead soldiers. Yeah.
Right. And then it progressed to larger animals that were alive, like cattle, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the natural thing is to go with the easiest pickings, which would be the humans.
Yeah. Well, again, if you've already tasted it, you're going to see that as another animal.
That's a delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
I could have this dirty old cow.
Or I can have that truffle person over there.
Exactly. Because the French, they love the truffles.
I wasn't thinking of that, but I was thinking of a delicacy.
Oh, I thought you were just being racist.
No. No. I have French in my background. I can't be racist to my own people.
That's so weird.
I know. So I've
You
got a lot
thought you were Italian.
I was raised by Italians.
Raised by Italians,
but
from a French ancestry.
My nana's side of the family. That's where the French comes from.
You know what they call that? Fear and loathing. So because we have this large area, all right, and I just think it was a conflict of people wanting to see something that wasn't there.
Well,
They make these large animals rather than regular wolves because it makes them feel like because they didn't act, it's because it was a huge supernatural animal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it had just been a regular wolf, why wouldn't it, then you were a coward for not doing anything.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But then we had possibly exotic animals escape. which I'm sure they did from time to time.
Well, yeah, because it's not like...
But it happened in
easy
that same region, and people are already freaked out. They've already lost 30-something people
Yeah.
in a small area. And that is a fairly small area because it's rural. I mean, they're not seeing those. Every person counts in those areas.
And think also, assuming it's an animal that escaped from a menagerie, there's a likelihood that it was larger than it needed to be because of how well it was fed. It probably was fed things that it shouldn't have been eating because, 1767, and the likelihood of knowing what its proper diet would be, and its lacking of exercise, it would probably get bigger than what it's supposed to.
Right. And, it doesn't help that the politics entered it.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Crown, who was interested only in the fact that it was a good story.
Mm-hmm.
That it could show that they had an involvement in it. And then once it was no longer productive for them as a story, they just stopped dealing with it.
It wasn't like they needed votes or something.
Right, but they just stopped dealing with it. They said, "Oh, well, we did something. You can
tried.
No, we did it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can report the mission is accomplished. That we ended the war with the werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. We took care of it. Don't worry." And no one thought to ask the villagers. No one thought to ask anyone in the region.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, are the attacks still happening?
Yeah. I mean, true. It's hard to ask the villagers when they were all turned into pieces of furniture.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to go kill the beast, but...
So, what did the beast of Gévaudan leave behind? We have the silver bullet, for one. That image, that special weapon that kills what ordinary weapons cannot, goes right into Gothic horror. Through the 19th century, werewolf fiction, the wolf man, every creature feature you've seen where the hero melts down grandma's silverware and loads the gun. We're even talking Lost Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that. But then that was not for werewolves, but yes. Right. Yeah.
But there is a correlation between werewolves and vampires.
Vampires, yes.
Right. So there is this cross section in which werewolf and vampire, they are the same thing. Mm-hmm. And we can talk about that at some point. Talk about vampires, we can get into that. Because it's all about changing shape or becoming something other than you were. Mm-hmm. And the silver bullet crosses over into both. The holy item that was melted down, that kind of thing. So the hero melts down grandmother's silverware and loads the gun, and it may have started right here in this field with this farmer in 1767. And it left behind the French folkloric figure of the Wolfmaster, the person who stands between the human world and the predator world and blurs the line. That figure recurs in French regional legend long after the beast is dead. And it left behind the precedent of the media monster, the creature that is almost as much a product of journalism as it is of tooth and claw. Because the beast was genuinely dangerous, but it was also shaped by the newspapers that reported it, and the illustrators who drew increasingly monstrous versions with each engraving.
I'm going to have to look some of those up.
Yeah, and the public that consumed these dispatches, they did so like a serial.
Oh, I bet.
It was like the TV series of the day. And it left behind 113 confirmed dead people, 49 injured, and 98 partially eaten.
Jesus.
Yeah. These are people like 14-year-old Jean Boulet, buried without sacraments. All of the children alone on the hillsides, all of the women, all the men who never came home from the fields. Whatever the beast was really doesn't matter. They were real, and they died. So the Beast of Gévaudan sits exactly where we like to live in the show, right at that uncertain space between what happened and what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, between myth and belief, we have this cross-section of humanity.
So yeah, you're right. That does kind of like that. It fits perfectly in that little vacuum between, myth and belief. And, well, why we have the name. Look at that.
It worked out really well.
Woohoo. So this has been Between Myth and Belief. If you like what you heard and you have a tale or two to share, not just about today's topic, but any odd or scary or interestingly weird story that you would like to hear us talk about, send us an email at betweenmythandbelief@gmail.com or join us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Myth and Belief. Please make sure to follow and subscribe to Between Myth and Belief wherever you listen to podcasts, where you're listening right now. And check out our other podcast, Cozy Quilt Cinema. If you like movies and how they make you feel, come check us out over there. So until next time, bye!